Greetings, pilgrims. It's Will from stormthecastle.com. And I have a video for you today, Friday Fish and Chips. And I was editing out the video, listening to it and going over it and cleaning it up and for today. And I realized, I talk a lot about books. And I talk a lot about books in this particular video. And now I'm making the introduction of me walking in the library. And I realized, how important books have been in my life. And I'm kind of lamenting the loss of books a little bit and the loss of encyclopedia and how the world has changed so much. So give that some thought. But let's join me. Let's go for a walk in the Sense of Wonder library here, and I'm going to pick out a book for you. And this book is entitled Aardvark to Zygote. Thanks.
Hi, it's Will from stormthecastle.com, and it's 12 noon on a Friday. And what does that mean? Friday Fish and Chips. I'm going to talk about something I call Aardvark to Zygote. And if you want to know what I mean, just stay tuned. Let's do the intro. Okay, welcome back. And what I'm going to do in this video is a few different things, as usual, right? I'm going to tell you a story from my life, and through that, maybe teach you and show you a little bit about being an autodidact and being creative. And it's pretty interesting. And so let me tell you the genesis of all this. I had a conversation with somebody a couple of weeks ago, and they asked me a question. They asked me how this all started for me. And we were talking about the website, so I thought they meant the website, because I get around 10,000 pages of stuff on stormthecastle.com, and in a lot of different subjects. And I guess you could say I'm an autodidact. I taught myself pretty much all of it. And so I have a certain amount of facility with a wide variety of subjects, because a wide variety of subjects interest me. But I don't think that's what he meant. I think he was actually meant, how did this all start for me? And so I was thinking about that, and I kind of know where it all started for me, and I'll tell you the story. I was maybe 10 or 11 years old, and this is the 70s now. This is a long time ago. And one Friday night, my parents came home from shopping at the supermarket, which they did every Friday, and with the first volume of the Funk and Wagnalls Encyclopedia. Yeah. That's, if you're young, you're probably not familiar with encyclopedias, but that Funk and Wagnalls, what would happen was a local grocery store chain, I don't know if they're still around anymore, I can't remember the name of the store chain, was every week they were going to offer a special deal for $2.99 or $5.99 or something for the next volume of encyclopedia. So every week we were going to get a new volume of encyclopedia until we get them all. And that goes from Aardvark to Zygote, the whole set. So this really piqued my interest, and every week I read that volume as a 10 or 11-year-old, and looked forward to Friday when the next volume would come in. So at that young age, I read the whole set of encyclopedia, and it was a lot. And I'll tell you a couple of stories that came out of that, but that wasn't really, nowadays, and it makes me think about nowadays how people use their cell phones or the internet or something and Google things and be clever, because you get these tidbits of information. It happens a lot on Facebook too. You get these tidbits of information and you look clever, you look it up and hey, look at that, look. But that really isn't, there's no creativity in that. And I didn't read the encyclopedia to be smart or to be, to know things, to memorize facts or anything like that, I saw something else happened during that length of time where I read all that, is I started to notice these patterns. And what I mean is, and to make syntheses, if that's a word, between disparate subjects. I started to have this different kind of appreciation for information and knowledge that went beyond just knowing facts or knowing things. You know, I started to see connections between things, you know. Because let me think, if I could come up with an example, I probably can't come up with a good example, but if today you're reading about mitocentesis, and tomorrow you're reading about niacin, right, there's M and N, right, you can't help but wonder what kind of an effect niacin would have on the process of mitocentesis, right? So that's what I mean. You know, these wonderful connections between things. You know, so that's one of the things that came out of that journey with the encyclopedia that I had, and I ended up actually reading the whole set again at a later point. But and also it gave me that whole episode, I guess you could say, gave me this wonderful appreciation for just how remarkably diverse our world is in terms of the things and the stuff and the knowledge and the ideas, the pursuits and the sciences and all the arts and all the stuff. That is just amazing. So I retain that joy for that to this day, because, you know, learning new things and teaching myself new things is just joyous for me. So, you know, you should wrap that joy into you too, to learn these new things, and I'm sure most of you do. That's just how humans tend to be wired, right? But think of it, don't think of it as fact gathering, because there's actually very little value in that. It's almost like junk food, you know. Think of it as adding to your vocabulary more things that you can draw upon to be creative and to synthesize new things. So I wanted to let me just give you a little bit more about that encyclopedia story, because it also lends some more insight into what I do and why I do it. We made it like, and I don't remember the number, I think it was 20 volumes, but we made it to like the 19th volume, 19 weeks in a row. My parents would come home with the latest volume of encyclopedia, which was always a joy for me. But the 20th, they did not come home with that last volume. Something went wrong at the store. They either were all sold out, or they didn't carry it, or they stopped it, or something. And boy, that was quite a thing for me. So I pestered them about it, and we started that weekend. We started making phone calls to all the local grocery stores to try to see if somebody had that last volume, because I couldn't. The task was almost complete, and I could not finish it. And we did. I remember we tracked down a store that had it, and my parents ran out and got it. So, you know, that taught me another lesson, and that I can impart on you, and that's it's in the difficulty where so much actual comes from. It's when things are easy, forget it. There's very little value in easy. It's when things are difficult, or something is set in your way. There's something gets in the way and makes it a challenge, where you get some real benefit from. So think of that when you're facing challenges in your life. You know, this challenge that I'm facing right now is wonderful. It's just giving you something. It really is. You know, the easier things get, the less we rise to occasions. There's no occasion to rise to. So that's an important thing, you know. I wanted to say, and I also wanted to say, you know, based on, you know, entries in the encyclopedia, that, you know, you should always be looking for syntheses, how things affect each other, and how combinations go together. You know, it's almost like this wonderful. Everything's connected, right? That's easy to say. I'm sure, you know, you've heard that before. But everything truly is connected. It's one universe, and everything affects everything else. You know, there's like this singularity. It's just, you know, remarkable. I don't recommend necessarily reading the encyclopedia, because can you even get encyclopedia anymore? You know, it's just the Wikipedia and Google have become the new encyclopedia. So everything is available at your fingertips, everything. And rather than just looking up facts and data and being clever and having found it, you know, look at it a different way. Look at it as opportunities to see things in new combinations. You know, I was working on just yesterday. I was working on some stained glass, and it gave me this beautiful synthesis idea that I'm not going to tell you, but hopefully that a project is going to come out of that. And I was like, wow, this is really quite a unique idea, following down the path of synthesis, you know. So hopefully at some point soon I'll get you a tutorial and a video on that. So that's it. You know, our formative years are kind of a big deal, and that whole episode in my life kind of forms my desires now to learn new things and to keep myself going in terms of just exploring the world. It's kind of, and it's been fun for me, and now I share that with you guys. You know, through the website, I learn new things, or I just kind of put my own slant on them and share them with you. It's kind of fun. So let me. This talk is short, and the video is going on a little bit longer. Let me say a couple more things. I'm going to end with the one particular point I want to make, but let me say a few more things. I'm having a lot of fun with this. The Friday Fish and Chips are not a popular video, you know. The Monday giveaways are not that popular, but I'm not really looking for, you know, as many views as possible. There's that almost goes back to my junk food theory, you know. I'm not trying to garner as many views or subscribers as I possibly can get, you know. What I'm trying to do here is to connect, to actually give you something that's of use, maybe an insight, or, you know, something that you can use, something that will enhance your life in some small way, you know. I've been doing that a long time, and I'll continue to try to keep doing it. Let me know if you, let me think. Leave a comment. Love to hear from you. If you've been following my channel a long time, like I've said in a few of these videos, feel free to send me an email. Be great to hear about it. You know, great to know that I've had some kind of a positive influence in your life, however small. If you have a creative idea, send it to me. I'd love to read about it and see what it is, tell you my thoughts on it. I do interact, you know. I mean, some people don't want to send emails. They feel embarrassed, but I do, you know. I'm pretty sure I respond to every single email I get. Eventually, it takes time to get through it. All right, so let me see. Let me finish up the fish and chips here. And I wanted to tell you just end this with one thing, you know, as far as synthesizing things. And I mentioned how the encyclopedia kind of encouraged that in me, where you read about all these different things that seemingly are different, and you see connections between them. You know, and I call it from Aardvark to Zygote, you know, because first and last entry in the encyclopedia. And I just wanted to say, you know, in terms of synthesizing, it is funny how everything comes full circle and everything's connected in one way or another, because at one time or another, every single aardvark started out as a zygote.